Hi everyone, I welcome you back to this channel Technical Drawing Masterclass. So today we are going to look at the construction of this isometric block. So we are going to redraw it in AutoCAD following these dimensions, and by the time you come to the end of this video, you'll be knowing how I came up with this block. So let's get into AutoCAD and I show you all the steps that I followed up to come to this. So let's get started. First, you have to make sure that your isometric drafting is on. So these are the tools that we are going to be playing around with so that we can come up with this isometric object. So we shall be using the isoplane left, isoplane top, then the isoplane right. So let's get started. So first I'm going to draw a line at an angle of 30. So I'll use my line tool. But then before I draw anything, I'll first come back to this PDF of mine. We're going to first draw this base. So its dimensions are 80. And this side will be 20. Press enter. Then I'll tilt my cursor an angle of 150. Then I'll feed in 10. Then in that direction, that line is at a distance of 20. And right there, I'll put in 10. There, I'll put in 20. So right there, put in 80. Then I'll just connect up this line to this other line, and I'll press escape. So you find that the distance from this point to that point is 80. So next, you find that the base of this isometric block is raised at a height of 10. So still I will use my line tool at an angle of 90, feed in 10. Then in this direction, I'll put in 80. Then I'll connect it up to there. Then from this point, draw another line, an angle of 30, but its length is 60. And that one, its length is 80. Now connect it up to there. I'll press the enter key. Then that line will be of distance 20. Then that one will be the distance of 10. They are 20. They are 10. Then I'll connect it to that point. So I'll join this point to that point using the line command. Then also that point to that point. Then so that point to that point. So now you find that we have so far constructed the base, this isometric block, which runs from here up to here, up to that point. So next, I'm going to show you how you can come up with triangular shapes. So first, we have to get the distance from this point up to this point here, which is 30 millimeters. But then you find that according to the drawing, this distance also is 10 if you subtract 30 minus 20. So that implies that the remaining distance here is 20. So I'll use the line tool. At this point, I draw a line of length 20. And I'll tilt the cursor in that direction at an angle of 30. But then it should be at a length of 60. Press the escape key. So now I'm going to first construct this rectangular face. So remember, it is raised at a distance of, or at a height of 30 from the base, and it is of thickness 10. So I'll put in 30. Yeah, I'll put in 10, 30. Then from there, put in 60, 10. I'll put in 30. Then I'll just connect it to this point. So I'm going to move this rectangular block, and I'll make sure that this corner here matches up with that corner. So I'll highlight this block, and I'll use the move tool, and I'll move it right there. So you find that we have this block right there. So we are going to construct this triangular blocks, and we shall connect them to this rectangular block. So remember, the height of the triangular block is 30, and the base is also 30. So I'll use the line tool, put my cursor at that point, and I'll draw a line of length 30. Then in that direction, I'll give that line a length of 60. I'll press the escape key. Then I'll join this point to that point. Then I'll also join that point to that point, and I'll draw another line, length 10, at an angle of 60. I'll draw that line. I'll use the trim tool, and I trim off that excess part of the line. So I'll still use the line tool. I put my cursor at this point. I stretch it to this other direction at an angle of 150, but I'll give it a length of 10. So I'll just tilt it that point there. So I'll just join this point here, that point there. So I'll use the trim command, and I'll trim off that line, also that part of the line. So I hope we are all following. Okay, let's continue. So what we are left with is to come up with this circular end of the isometric block. So let me show you how you can easily get to that point there. I'll create a rectangular block also. Then I'll just operate it this direction, but at a distance of 10. Then I'll also copy. So I'll use the line tool. I join that point to that point. Then also I'll join this point to that point. I will click at that line. I'll also click at that line. Then I'll join them. So if you click again, you find that it's a single line, not two different lines. So after that, I'll click at the ellipse command. Then I'll choose axis and command. Then I'll choose isocircle. Then right now, yeah, I'll use that command. Then from the middle of this line, I'll draw that isometric circle. So I'll use the trim command. I'll trim off that excess part of the line. So we won't be seeing these ones. And I don't need that part of the isometric circle. So now I'll copy this circular curve, that point there, that point, and that point. So I'll use the trim command. I'll trim off that part of the circular curve, also that part. So remember, according to our drawing in the PDF, it indicates that we don't have these lines. So I'll eliminate them by trimming. So I'll do the same thing right here. So using the line command, I'll draw a line that is tangential to the circumference of these isometric curves. So I'll trim off that portion of the curve such that it can appear to be a connected circular block. So still using the line tool, I'll join them, then I trim off that portion. So this curve here, it is this one that we have just drawn. So I want to draw this this middle circular hole that is of diameter 20. So still using our axis and command, I'll click at the ISO circle. So still at the midpoint, I'll click at the midpoint, then I feed in 10. Because if it is of diameter 20, then the radius is 10. I press enter. So I'll copy this isometric circle at a distance of 10. Now I'll also place it there. Then I'll copy that isometric circle at a distance of 10. So next, I'm going to trim off these lines because I no longer need them. Just this inner isometric circle, I'll trim off what I don't need. So I think you can see that you're coming to what we are supposed to be seeing. So now you find that this is exactly what I have right here. So what we are remaining with is to put the dimensions. Click at the dimension command. put my cursor at that point and also at that point, which is 10. Then you find that this dimension is not coinciding with the alignment of the isometric block. So I want to align it with the block. So I'll click at the annotate tab, then I'll choose oblique, then I'll click at the dimension, I press enter, then I click at that point and I give it a direction of this other side. So you find that now it's aligned with the what? With the block. So next, the distance also is 20. That one is also 20. That one is also 20. And that one is also what? 20. And the distance from this point to where my 80 is, it's that one. So let me first make them click. I'll click at it, then I press enter from this point, then I'll align it in this direction. I'll try to move it such that it coincides with these other dimensions, such that they look to be uniform. So next, do the same thing with these other dimensions. So right now, I think the only thing we're remaining with is to allocate the diameter of this circular hole and also the radius of this circular surface. So you find that with the dimension command, you can't easily show the radius of this isometric curve, all the diameter of this isometric circle. So what we are going to do is to employ the multi-leader command. So at any point along the circumference of the curve, I'll choose this one. Now, since we have allocated the diameters 40 millimeters, that means our radius is 20. Then for the circular isometric hole, its diameter is 20. That means its radius is 10. So from here we shall indicate, we shall use R as radius, then we shall put 20 millimeters. Then right there, I'll use D 20 millimeters as diameter. So you find that we are soon coming to the end of this video. If you have really found something of helpful and it has added value to you, please you can give this video a like, you can comment, and also subscribe to the channel such that you can always get notifications whenever we upload our content. So next, I'm going to change the color of these dimensions such that they look a little bit unique. So I'll highlight every dimension. So from there, I'll choose the layer for dimensions, which is this. So you find that the dimensions have changed their colors, and so you can easily identify them. So you find that this is the isometric object that you have been looking for. So right now you can easily represent this isometric block on a piece of paper. So you just come at one of the layout tabs at that point. Let me put it on a paper size of, first delete that one. I want it to be on a paper size of A4. So I'll come at the page setup manager. I'll hit modify. I'll select this type of printer. It's already A4. Then I'll click OK. So I can give it a scale of 1 to 1. So you find that this is our isometric block on a scale of 1 to 1. Okay. So after you click at the layout, the second layer tab, after the model tab, select the page setup manager, hit modify. So if I click preview, this is how our object will look like. So right now, just hit OK. So if I want to print out, I'll come at this button, then I'll click print. Already we had already selected our printer, then I'll hit OK. Then AutoCAD will require me to select where I want to save my PDF document. So I'll select this one. Then I'll save it as 1, 2, 3 block. It's already in PDF format. Then I'll hit save. So you find that this is our block in a PDF format. So I just want to say that thanks for watching until the end of this video. Once again, you have found something of helpful and it has really added value to you. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching. See you next time.